In this video, we are looking at three high quality IEMs in the under $200 price range. All these IEMs have different kind of drivers, so that's very interesting. But the thing is that they are in the same price range, so people can definitely feel like, should I go for the more critically acclaimed HIDI's MP145 or the Oriveti OD200? The dynamic driver is very capable, and the newer entrant here is the ISN Neo 3, priced at $200. This one has two dynamic drivers and one planar driver to handle all the spectrums. So these three are fairly different, but there is some common ground within them. All these are tuned to be uh, very, very musically pleasing. Okay, this one might be a bit on the sharper side with other nozzles, but this red nozzle is fairly on the musical side. It's slightly thicker and more kind of less cleaner side with that nozzle, especially with that nozzle. This one is not the cleanest sounding IEM by a very good margin. So we will see how this nozzle affects its performance and stuff in a minute or two. But before that, let's have a look at the build quality of these IEMs. Let me show you the build quality first. There is no doubts that MP145 is the bigger one here, fairly big. You guys can see MP145 has a much bigger shell, much bigger backplate. It's fairly big and will not fit directly inside the ear because of the larger side. It will hang out of the ear, and that is perfectly fine. You guys can see much bigger, much bigger. MP145 is much bigger, and it's slightly on the heavier side too. It's not like it is lightweight. The aluminum they have used on this is fairly on the heavier side, so that is okay, I guess, but not the best for sure. OD200 is the best built IEM here. Very good ergonomics and stuff, not big, and very comfortable inside the ear too. I'll say this is the best built IEM here. Neo 3 is decent with the build quality, but as you guys can see, this is they will insist that this might be resin, but I do not believe this is resin. I feel this is fairly plastic. So yeah, the build quality of the Neo 3 is not the best, and even if this is resin, yeah, it is not winning any points when it comes to OD200 or MP145. They are much more stronger, much more sturdier, and uh, much more impact resistant too. So that is the thing about those two. And if we talk about accessories, every IEM in this video are good. No issues with the set of accessories and cables. None of these cables are the best. You can definitely try different cables. Yes, Oriveti is kind of selling this cable at $80, but I do not think it sounds like $80. But it is a very good cable for a $200 IEM. So that is that decent cable for the $200 IEM. But if you feel like you have to change the cable, you can definitely get it a better cable, no doubts about that. So let's start with the base. Let's start with the MP145, and this one is not a bassy IEM. Okay, you can definitely tune it bassy with the red nozzle, and that is what is on this IEM. And even with that, this is a bit more on the quicker side, faster side. It is not trying to be very boomy or very bassy. The area of impact is a bit on the bigger side. There is decent amount of rumble too, but the decay is still on the faster side. It's not like very woolly or boomy kind of thing. It is on the warmer side, but it's not very warm for sure. The layer delivery is there, but yes, a bit of definition is missing here. It's not the most detailed bass you will have at this price range, priced at $160. But yeah, at below $200, this is not the best bass, most detailed bass you will hear, but it is decent, no issues with that at all. And if we move on to the OD200, this one is very good with the bass. I like its bass because it is more focused. The punch is on the heavier side. It hits with a very weighty kind of punch, and it's more focused. It doesn't have a very big area of impact, but the punch is very satisfying. I like that kind of punch. It is a bit on the slower side though. There is very good amount of rumble. Sub bass is a bit better than the MP145. Sub bass is better on the OD200, and mid bass is slightly more voluminous than the sub bass, but it isn't a very bassy IEM. It's a more punchy kind of IEM. It punches, and the note kind of disappears, and that is a good thing. I like that kind of tuning too. And if you want very good accuracy, it might not be able to deliver that. Dynamics are okay. Dynamics are okay with the uh, HIDI's MP145 too, but this one is slightly less dynamic. Okay, it is not able to hit the upper bass notes very cleanly. So that is slightly the down point of this slightly woolly, slightly slower bass. And if we move on to the ISN Neo 3, this one is the most bassy IEM. And there is something about this bass. If you give it a very powerful source like a desktop amp kind of thing, it will become a bit more tighter, but still then it is fairly punchy. The area of impact is bigger, very good amount of rumble, some of the best rumble to be precise, and very good sub bass extension. And the good thing that I like about this IEM is that it has very good dynamics too. The level of dynamics that this IEM delivers is better than both this. Even though this is a bassy IEM, the dynamics are very good. It has very good control, very good uh, ability to hit different notes without being monotonous. So that is a very good thing about this bass. Very entertaining. Yes, it can be slow, it can be a bit on the faster side. So that is the dynamic ability of this IM. So that is good. If we talk about the mid range, it is kind of between the MP145 with a red filter and OD200 with the silver filter. This one is between them. It is very well defined. That is where all these three are very similar. They are musical. Okay, they are not trying to be very detailed, very transparent or anything like that. But the thing is that this one is slightly lacking with resolution and definition. Timbre and tonality are very similar. Very similar. Timbre and tonality all are a bit on the analogish side, but this one has a bit more finishing definition than this one, MP145. And everything is good. No issues with the instrument or anything. Vocals are very good, very pleasing. Slightly less tall here, but they are a bit more taller with the MP145. But the definition and uh, transparency is not great with the red filter. Okay, with the silver filter they are very good, but that really pushes the mid-range down. But this is not that back projected, so that is good. It is decent. I'll say, if you are not a very critical kind of listener, this is very good. But if you are a criticalish kind of listener, OD200 is the one to pick, because I find this to be very well resolving, and the definition a bit on the higher side too. Very good definition and clarity. I like the amount of details this can push, and very good throatiness. The notes are a bit on the thicker side. Yes, this one is a bit on the thicker side too, but the issue with the MP145 is that the notes are a bit on the hollowish side, while this one is not hollow. This one hits. The male vocals are filled in, and they sound very heavy-ish. Okay, it sounds like there is some substance behind them. So that is the good thing about this. And if we talk about treble, this one, even though is a fairly treble capable IEM, if you switch to the silver nozzle, this isn't a very trebly kind of very treble defined IEM when it is with the red filter. So the red filter is on, and it isn't exactly great. It kind of sounds veiled. Okay, this plana that can be very aggressive with the treble kind of sounds slightly veiled. So yeah, that is the problem with the red filter, but there are some trade-offs. If you do not use the red filter, it can be a bit more sibilant, a bit too V-shaped. So that was the issue. And with the red filter, it is okay. Layering and separation are decent, but the amount of air between instruments are not that good. And it is okay, decent, no issues. And here too, the Neo 3 is between these two. Neo 3 has decent definition. I will not call it the best defined treble in this price range by a very long shot. There are better IEMs like EA1000 and Falcon Ultra that will do much better, and even the OD200 is doing better than the Neo 3. Neo 3 is decent. I do not feel like there is any issues, but the treble could have been a bit more extended. The energy could have been a bit more, and the clarity could have been slightly better. It is okay, no issues. Layering and separation are decent, slightly better air between instruments too, when compared to the MP145. And if we talk about the OD200, OD200 is the best treble friendly IEM here. None of these are sharp. Okay, no questions about that. There is no sharpness or anything like that. But the OD200 is a bit more elevation with the treble, and the notes feel a bit more taller, a bit more energetic, a bit more transparent, a bit more cleaner too. There is very good amount of air between instruments, and that is what very good about this IEM. And if I have to recommend one IEM that can do it all, it has to be the OD200. It is a very well-rounded IEM, very good, very well-rounded IEM with very good capabilities. It sounds very good. There are little to no issues with this IEM. It sounds very pleasing too, and have very good definition across the spectrum. That is the great thing about this IEM. Very good definition across the spectrum. No issues that I can think of I should complain about. Yeah, this is not the fastest or anything. So yeah, that is slightly on the downside, but technicalities and details of this IEM is very good. No issues with that. ISN Neo 3 is for the bass end. Okay, keep no doubts about that. If you want very good amount of bass, a lot of rumble, a big area of impact, and you like a bit of boominess with your bass, this one is a very good bassy IEM. Do not pick it for anything else. Okay, if you are not a bass head, do not pick it for anything else. It's not going to ace anything. And if we look at the MP145, this one is very good too, very good all-rounder. But yeah, pick it for its slight lack of technical abilities, and that is persistent. Okay, even with the silver nozzle, this is not the most technically capable IEM. There are some issues with the separation. There are some intervening of instruments, so that is a bit of a problem with the MP145. So there is that. And if you talk about stage, all these are very similar, no issues. None of these are big with the stage. uh, if I have to say, this one is slightly less tall, this one is much taller, this one is slightly more rounded, but none of these are bad or anything like that. All these are very good with imaging and cue placement. So that is that. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask. So this is my comparison of these three high quality IEMs. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Enjoy.